Hi everyone, this is Miss Frazita, and I was going to go over the syllabus for the class, also known as the green sheet. So at the top there, if you have your paper handy as we're going through, that would help. At the top, it's talking about, when you can reach me. So this year I happen to have period 3 and period 7 off, so those are times that I would be available, not teaching. And I'm also on campus most days until about 3:30, maybe even 4. But if you're going to come in after school is out, just check with me first and make sure that I'm on campus still, that I'm here. I do work off of a flipped classroom. I guess if you're listening to this recording, then chances are good that you're figuring out how to listen to the videos for the notes as well. So if you go to School Loop and log in and open the calendar, on a typical day, if there's a video, it will say on the School Loop calendar, and you just click on the video on the calendar assignment there where it says video, and it will have a link to the video. Probably already figured this out. Also, I'm going to probably be using something called Edpuzzle, which is a way for you to listen to the video through Edpuzzle, and it basically gives me a timestamp. It's a way for me to know that you did actually listen to the video, and I can put some questions in there. As you're listening, you can input the answers. Okay, calculators. Well, in this class, you definitely need a graphing calculator. I would recommend the TI-89 because it does the most calculus, but the TI-84 is also a very good calculator. It has a few things missing, but you won't have to use those missing things on the AP exam. They're not required. So if you're going to go out and buy a new one, I'd suggest the TI-89, but if you already have a TI-84, just keep it, no problem. If for some reason you don't want to be buying a graphing calculator, you can also check one out from me. Just let me know in the next week or so that you would like to have one checked out to you. For this class, you would need a spiral notebook and a 3-ring binder. So I'd like you to do all of your assignments in the spiral notebook. Nothing should ever be ripped out. Keep everything in there nice and neat, in order, organized. So when I come around to check off your assignments, I won't actually take your spiral notebook from you. I'll just kind of flip through it and see that you've done it and stamp your assignment sheet. So once we finish a chapter, you can move all of the previous chapters' work into a 3-ring binder. Meaning worksheets and things like that. The spiral notebook, I don't want you ripping out the previous chapter. It kind of defeats the purpose of it being spiral. So just leave your daily assignments in your spiral notebook and continue on to the next chapter. But the 3-ring binder would be convenient for the previous chapters, worksheets and assignment sheets, anything that's kind of extra that's not in your spiral. As far as grades go, first semester and second semester listed below here. You have your daily assignments are 10%, notes 5, participation 5. Where it says number 4 and 5, limits, derivatives, those are basically your tests and quizzes on those topics. So second semester, you'll have limits and derivatives, but we'll be focused on integrals mostly. So you can see your limits is only going to be 5% second semester, and derivatives only 10% second semester, because most of our time will be focused on integrals. So that would be 45% of your grade. So each test you take will be cumulative. Most of the questions on a test will be the current chapter, but there will be some problems on previous topics. The idea being that we're not going to wait to the last minute to review for the AP exam. That if you keep everything in the front of your mind all year long, then when the AP comes around, you won't feel like you have to go back and remember all these things from first semester, because you will never have forgotten them. So we'll see how that goes. Assignments. So when you're working out your problems, I do expect that you're nice and neat and organized. So the individual problems should be worked out vertically down the page, your equal signs all lined up, everything nice and orderly. So as usual, you copy the problem down on the first line, work the problem out going vertically down the page. If you want to do several columns on your piece of paper to fit more, use less paper, that's always a good idea. So you can fit in 2, maybe even 3 columns on one side of a piece of paper. Please use pencil for the class. If you really hate pencil and you have to use pen, then invest in some real good erasable pens so that things aren't scribbled out. Okay. The notes, I guess I mentioned it already. But basically, you'll be watching the videos, filling in some problems that you see on the videos on your handout. So every time you watch a video, you will get a sheet of paper, hard copy from me, that you can fill in as you're watching the video. Today, there's nothing for you to fill in. You're just listening to the video first time around. Participation. So the participation grade is made up of just kind of two things. One is the problems that you're presenting on the board to the class, and the other one are the negatives. If you walk in tardy, I call it minutes missed. So if you walk in late, or you have to run to your locker, run to the bathroom, or you have your cell phone out, anything like that, those get deducted from the participation grade. So for presenting problems on the board, each time you come to the board and explain to your peers how you did a certain problem that was from the assignment, it's possible for you to receive 3 points in participation score. In order to get all 3 of the points, you have to be obviously knowing what you're talking about, coming out with the right answer, but also speaking clearly, talking about how you approach the problem, not just reading what's on the board. But your organization on the board is also important to me. So again, copy the question, work vertically down, make sure the equal signs are lined up, all of that good stuff. So I've put on the green sheet here that you need 15 points for the problems on the board. So that would be 5 times up in the semester that you would need to come to the board. And that is actually a little bit flexible. You know, we kind of play it by ear and see if 5 sounds reasonable by the end of the semester. Just kind of depends how many problems on the board we end up doing. The minutes missed, as I said, these are the negatives. So if you're late or you have to run to the bathroom, something like that, I'll mark the chart on the wall that has the recording of all these participation points. And you're allowed to have 3 marks in the semester. But if you get more marks than 3, then I start deducting off your participation score. So you're trying to accumulate points by coming to the board. But if you're tardy a lot, you'll have to come to the board more often than others just to make sure you get all of your participation points. Making up tests and quizzes, for the most part, I'll be giving you a make-up test. You know, if you're absent, I'll just give it to you the next day I see you. So next time you have class, expect to take that test. And if it's maybe a test given on a block day and the next day is not a block day, then I would just split the test. You know, it's usually more than one sheet of paper stapled together. So I'll just give you the first page, and then we can set up a time for you to come in and finish it, lunch or after school or next day, whatever it is. Cuts, hopefully nobody is cutting the class, but it's 1% off your semester grade for each cut that you would have. Just a reminder that it's the office that has to clear all your absences. They give you 2 weeks to do that, and if you forget and then at the end of the semester you notice your attendance has a cut and you're like, oh, I wasn't cut, I was at a doctor's office, you have to go up to the office and try to get them to clear it. But I think they only give you 2 weeks, and after that, even if it was legit, I believe it's still considered a cut. So please stay on top of clearing all your absences. Extra credit. So the way I do extra credit is I only look at any points of extra credit you might have accumulated if you are close to the next letter grade when the semester ends. So in other words, you need to be within 1.5% of the next higher letter grade for me to even look at any kind of points you have in the extra credit category. So in other words, I'm not going to input those points into my computer until after you've taken your final exam, and I will only input them into my computer if you are within 1.5% of the next letter grade. So if you, in other words, you have an 85 in this class, it doesn't matter how many points of extra credit you've accumulated, you're getting the B. Okay, so you have to be at 88.5 or higher before I will consider your extra credit. So the extra credit points come from basically 2 ways. Your camel contests, which are the math contests that are given at lunch on Tuesdays. There are, I believe, 3 first semester and 3 second semester. Any problem correct is a point of extra credit you accumulate. And the other way to get extra credit, again, is your participation points. So if at the end of the semester 15 points looks reasonable for what I require and you have 20, those extra 5 points that you accumulated would go into the extra credit category. And if your grade is borderline, then that could help you out. Okay, bump you up to the next letter. School Loop. So as I've already said, I do use School Loop for posting my videos. The calendar has all the assignments The locker has a lot of things actually that are from previous years that I've taught. So if you're looking for extra worksheets, or even the current worksheets are mostly all in there as well. Nowadays I tend to post the current worksheets right on the calendar page. I think most people find it's a little easier than trying to sort through the locker. I also use School Loop for my grade book. So when you log into School Loop, you should be able to see what your current grade in the class is. I do post grades about at the end of each chapter. Um, Sometimes I will post if I've given a quiz and I've got the quiz scores, I'll post the quiz right away instead of waiting till the end of the chapter. But your daily assignments that goes on your stamp sheet, you know, when I come around and stamp your assignments, I don't record that in my grade book until the entire stamp sheet is collected. So in other words, the end of the chapter, I'll collect your stamp sheet, total it up, and enter that the number of points from that into your assignment category. So you'll see those updated each chapter. Academic honesty policy. Okay, so you know, you're sitting in table groups, you're working away as a group in class, helping each other out as much as possible. But there are times that I've noticed students will say, "Oh, can I see your homework?" And then the other person just gives them their assignments. So, "Oh, here you go." That shouldn't happen. So if somebody is needing help, you don't just hand your work over to them. You actually keep a hold of your work and help them with it. You can show them your work, they can look at it, that's all fine, but you should never be handing your assignments to somebody else. Again, you don't know what they're going to do. Are they going to copy it or not? If you want to be helpful, it's a lot more helpful to help them with it than it is to just hand over a piece of paper anyway. Obviously, tests and quizzes, keep your eyes on your own paper and so forth. If you are caught cheating, then it's basically whatever the district policy is what your punishment would be, your consequences, okay? So you should have that policy in your student agendas. Electronic devices. Okay, so in this class, obviously we're using graphing calculators a whole bunch. You're also going to be watching my videos at home. But during class, I don't want to see that you're watching the videos, okay? That's to be done at home. In class, you're working on the assignments. So obviously it pays off to make sure you don't fall behind on the videos, because when you come to class the next day, if you didn't watch the previous night's video, you might not be sure what to do on your current assignment. In which case you're going to muddle through as best you can, ask people at your table group to help you out. But during class, no phones out, no watching videos, all that's to be, you know, outside of the room. If there's a special occasion where we're doing something and I want you to have your phone out, then obviously I'll let you know. Well, that's pretty much it. If you can think of any questions you have for me, feel free to shoot me an email or just ask me in class when you see me. I'm hopeful that this year we're going to have a really good year and you guys will find that the calculus is not so scary, that it's very, very doable if you stay on top of things and don't fall behind. I think you'll find that the pace of the class goes not too quickly, being that you've chosen calculus AB, not BC. We have time, we try not to go too fast, but you do need to make sure that you're staying on top of your assignments and staying motivated, putting in the extra effort when needed, and yeah, we should have a good year. So again, if you have questions, let me know in class or by email, and I look forward to spending time with you guys this year. Take care.